Right, good day everyone. Today what we will be doing is following up based on our previous video, which was to connect the Windows 10 machine to the Windows Server 2019, so our client machine to the server. Right, what we want to do initially here is we want to focus on actually setting up the server as an Active Directory domain controller and also connecting our client to that particular domain. In this case, our client machine is the Windows 10 machine. So again, we are doing this through virtualization. So if you want to go over to your software, Oracle VMbox, you want to load that software. I already have mine loaded. Right, I have my both machines running here, Windows 10 and the server. Right, once you get that up and running, you can actually go. And for the sake of this tutorial, what we'll be doing is actually focusing just on our server machine here, not on our Windows 10 machine. So we want to just minimize that for a while. So our first step to actually setting this up as an Active Directory domain, right? So first off, let's explain something. The domain controller itself is actually this server 2019, and what it will be able to do is actually respond to the user authentication requests, and it will allow the host to access various resources, and that's on the enterprise itself, on the enterprise network. Right, so what we want to do is actually go to our start menu, and we have the server manager application here. We also have it pinned to our taskbar. Once you open that application, you'll be met with this screen, and this is basically where our configuration is going to be. So you're going to click on add roles and features. You'll be met with this, which is the installation. Before you begin, there's a lot of stuff here for you to read. Administrative account has a strong password, so there's some recommendations. What you want to do is click next. You want to go on role-based or future-based installation. Click on next. Right, you'll be met with this particular screen. Select a server or virtual hard disk. In this case, what we want to do, we have our server machine here. So you want to select that and press next. And here you have various. I'm going to also do is ensure to click on previous. You might have skipped past that there. And you would actually want to click on Active Directory domain. Right, and they're asking you if you want to add these features that are required. Add features, click on that always. You want to click on next. You want to click on next again. And next. And in this instance, next. Right, so it's asking us here to install the following roles. To install the following roles, you actually have to click install, and also, right, you could actually restart the destination if required, the destination server. In this case, we don't have to, right? So you could just click install, and this may take a while depending on the kind of machine that you have. Again, it all comes down to processing speed, right? When it comes to virtualization, it is actually known to pull a lot of RAM and memory. So be back when this installation is finished. Right, you're gonna get a little progress there in terms of installation started, and yeah, so be back in a few. Okay, so once this installation is finished, you will actually see configuration required. Installation succeeded on the name of the server that you have. Right, in this case, what we want to go over to is promote the server to a domain controller. You want to click that. Right, and here's our deployment configuration. So basically in this, what we want to focus on, we want to avoid the first and second options. What we want to do is actually add a new forest. Right, so you may get a little bit of lag there because this actually has to load up in terms of the configuration. But we want to go over to add a new forest. Right, in this instance, this forest that we're referring to is the Active Directory trees. Right, so a group of them is actually referred to as a forest with any Microsoft Active Directory network. Right, so you want to go over to root domain name. In this instance, I'm going to use John, right, .com, right, and you want to actually click on next. Right, again, you're going to get a little bit of lag in terms of the deployment. Right, after that actually loads up, you're going to get this screen, which again is still in configuration mode, so it's going to take a while for me to actually get into any of these credentials pertaining to the directory services restore mode. Right, so it's asking for our directory password in this case. Click on next. Okay, we might have just gotten that error because it doesn't meet the requirements. Right, in that case, let's see if we could change that a little bit. This might be a little bit of a stronger password. Right, so that would have sorted out that issue. Click on next. Create DNS delegation. I'm gonna click on next. Right, so in this case it actually assigns me a NetBIOS name automatically. Right, in this case it's all caps John. Right, verify the NetBIOS name assigned to the domain and change it if necessary. Click on next. Alright, so this will allow you to also specify the location in which you want the database log files to store. We don't want to actually change anything here, so I'm going to click on next. And then, well, this will be review your actual selection. So the whole process we just did in terms of assigning that particular forest, john.com, right? It's going to give us everything in detail and a summary. And we want to click on next. And here it actually does the prerequisites check, right? It has to load up, and then we will be allowed to actually install. Alright, so again, it's going to take a while to actually do this particular check, just dependent on the machine. You just have to have a little bit of patience with it. Alright, so you're going to click on install, and that progress again is going to come up. Okay, so once that installation is actually finished, you're going to be met with this, which is Windows is actually asking you to restart, right, to actually complete the configuration. So here my server machine is restarting. Right, so as my server machine is actually restarted, what I want to do is click on input, Control Alt Delete, and I want to log in but not as my administrator, right? So you just want to make your basic login. Right, and what I want to do first is within my server machine, 1 second, close this off, you want to go to network settings. Right, you want to first go to your change adapter options, properties. I just want to double check to see if my network configuration is the same. Alright, so again we have to enter the default gateway here, 192.168.0.1, and it's connected to .2 because that's the client machine. Press OK at the same time, with this particular tab, and you want to go straight to the sharing options, making sure that network discovery is actually there, or else you will not be able to proceed with the next step. Alright, you want to make sure that setting is there. Then I want to switch over to my client machine, which is the Windows 10 machine. Alright, in this case, we're going to go over to our Open Network and Sharing Center. You want to go to the Advanced Sharing option. Ensure the network discovery, that's our critical step here. You want to come out of this, go into Change Adapter options. You want to check your properties, TCP/IP version 4, and here again 192.168.0.2, and our DNS is always .1. That's our server/domain right now. That's okay. That's okay. You want to close this off and this off. Alright, and at the same time you want to have your server machine. Right, so on the server machine, right, we are actually going to focus mainly on our client, and at this step we want to go to the folder. Alright, so File Explorer, you want to go to this PC and Properties. You're going to see that we're connected to the workgroup, so at the moment this isn't connected to our domain, right, and that's the whole achievement of this video. So what we want to do is go to Change Settings. We want to go to Change. Right, now we can change the computer name. In this case I want to name it Joshua. Right, and you want to select member of a domain. We would be inserting the domain that we just created, so john.com. Press OK, and here's our credentials. Right, so I want to enter that credential, so john.com. Alright, just want to double check our password. Check this in. Alright. That's okay. Welcome to the domain. Alright, so we have successfully done that. What has to happen now is, I believe, Windows has to restart. Okay, so let's restart. Just gonna give me that option to close this particular window. I want to restart now, so let's restart. Right, so once we restarted and we've actually entered our credentials, right, in this case we are going to log in with our username. Once we logged in my case it was the john.com/administrator, alright, and I entered my password. You would have Windows here configuring this particular machine for us as it connects to the domain, right, and it's actually setting up to be a part of that tree that we referred to. Alright, as long as Windows is logged in and configured, what we want to do, again, that configuration took place because I didn't log in as my regular user. I logged in with the administrator domain privilege. We want to go to our network and ensure that our network and sharing, the network discovery, is turned on. Here it is. Alright, and we want to see, we want to go to File Explorer, this PC, properties, and there you go. So this actual computer name is Joshua. For computer name, it's actually connected to our domain controller, john.com, and it's connected to the domain, john.com. Right, one of our final steps here would be to actually trust this computer, right, for our delegation, delegating to any service. So what we want to do is we want to close this particular tab. We want to go over to our server machine. Alright, you want to go and we want to set up the trust relationship on the domain controller to client. Right, so in order to trust the relationship, remember that you have to promote a domain controller. So you want to go over to the start menu. In this instance, you want to proceed to the Windows Administrator Tools and scroll directly to the Active Directory users on computers. Select that. In this instance, we're dealing within john.com. You want to click on computers. You want to proceed directly to the Joshua, right, which is my just one second, my NetBIOS name. You want to click on properties. In this case, go to delegation and trust this computer for purpose only. Okay, apply. Okay. Right, so now our final step here would be to change the flag in either the task manager. We could use it in two ways basically. You could use the task manager to change the flag, right, or you can actually use the registry, and that will make sure that the network neighborhood shows all machines that are connected in the domain itself. So let's use the server manager tools technique first. So in this case, we want to go to the server manager. From this, we click on tools. Right, from here we go to, scroll down a little bit, services. What you want to do here is actually select any of these and type F. When you type F, it will come down to function discovery provider, right, and then you would see function discovery resource publication. In this case, this is what we're going to be focusing on. We're going to click on properties. We're going to set this from manual to automatic, and we're going to press start, which will start that particular service. Alright, click on apply, press OK. Alright, and we're going to do the same for our Windows 10 machine. We're going to do the same for our Windows 10 machine. In this case, we close down this. Right, and we're going to use the task manager technique, right, for the open services. So in this case, we go to here, we go on task manager, we go to more details, we go over to our services. Alright, we go to open services. In this case, we type the F function. Alright, function discovery provider host, function discovery resource publication. Alright, we're going to click on properties. Let's set to manual, click on automatic, press OK. There you go. Alright, so that should be running right now. Just double check. Right, there you go. Right, so when I close this off, this will be our final step here in terms of actually trusting the delegation to any service, and also doing a little bit of configuration in terms of the flags. If you want to double check to make sure that everything is functioning as it should, and you can just double check here, you would see that this particular machine, which is my client machine, Windows 10, is actually connected to our domain, which is john.com. Right, you get the machine name Joshua, joshua.john.com. And that concludes this video. Okay, thanks for watching.